Hello and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to just graph some lines to give you a visual. So I've got y equals 3/4 x minus 2. I'm going to start at -2. From there I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 4. And of course I can do that again. 1, 2, 3, over 4. Alright, and let's go ahead and draw that line. And we will extend that line out downwards. Okay, and then as I switch to red so that I can graph the red line, excuse me, I start at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there I go up 3 over 4. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, if I'm running out of room up here, I can just go the other way. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 the other way. Okay, so I graph that line. Sorry about that. Okay, and if I were to ask you, what do you notice about those lines, you might say things like they're going in the same direction, they're never going to touch. But the word that I am looking for, they're parallel. And that's what parallel means. Parallel lines means the lines will never touch. So let's look at these two over here. First one I'm going to start at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from there I'm going to go down 2 and right 5. Down 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as we switch to red, I notice there's nothing here. There's no plus or minus, which means I start at 0 because there's nothing there. Down 2 over 5. And again, if I were to say, what do you notice? You would probably make the same observation. The lines are never going to touch. The lines are parallel. So as we look at the equations, what causes that? Well, these are different, but these are the same. These are different, but these are the same. And I think that it becomes pretty obvious parallel lines have the same slope. That is always true. Parallel lines have the same slope because they go up and over or down and over exactly the same. Okay, so if I've got a line, whatever the slope of that line is, okay, so if the blue line has a slope of 2/3, then the red line has a slope of 2/3. It has to be true if they're parallel. It has to be true. So that takes us into the next step of what we're doing. The problem says, find an equation of the line parallel to y equals -3 over 2x plus 5 and passing through the point 4 comma -6. It never says to graph. Even though I have a graph up here, it never says to graph. All it says is find an equation. That's all it says. Why do I have a graph up there if it doesn't say that we have to graph? It's so that you can get a visual of what we're doing. So let's take this line first. That line starts at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the y-axis. And from there it goes down 3 and to the right 2. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Okay, so let's graph that line. Okay, so we don't need to graph that line. We don't need to graph it at all, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the equation of the line parallel to this one. All right, so let's create a duplicate, and parallel to it is going to be here or there or there or there or there. Any of these would be parallel to it. They all have the same slope. That would be parallel. That would be parallel. That would be parallel. All of these would be parallel. But it has to do something very specific. It has to pass through the point 4, -6. So let's find out where that point is at.